I have had my day with kings, drinking mead and wine. Now I drink whey and water among shriveled old hags. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Irish Myths Storytime podcast. I'm your host, i.e. Kneverday, creator of irishmyths.com and the Irish Myths YouTube channel. Today's story, The Lament of the Hag of Beara, is about an old woman who reflects on her advanced age and thinks to herself, hey, this kinda sucks. I miss being young and cool. Or as the journalist and old Irish scholar Eleanor Hull described it, quote, from the point of view of folk motif as applied to poetry, it is a beautiful example of the widespread idea that human life is ruled by the flow and ebb of the sea tide, with the turn of which life will dwindle, as with the oncoming tide, it waxes to its full powers and energy. Life should always come in with the flood and go out with the ebb. End quote. Okay, I'll concede that Hull did a better job summarizing. And yes, if you caught that first line of said summary, The Lament of the Hag of Beara is a poem. Hull dates it to the 10th or 11th century CE, but the version I'm going to recite comes from an Irish manuscript compiled in the 15th and 16th centuries. Specifically, it's the Trinity College Dublin manuscript number 1337, and if you're watching a video version of this podcast, available on YouTube and Spotify, what you're seeing on screen right now is the very page of that manuscript, page 42, on which the poem appears. Of course, I can't actually read that, but the Irish scholar Gerard Murphy certainly could, so I'll be presenting his 1956 translation of the poem, styled The Lament of the Old Woman of Beara, which appeared in his book Early Irish Lyrics, 8th to 12th century. And while I'm tempted to go into exhausting detail about how the Hag or Old Woman of Beara, i.e. the Cailleach Vera, is actually a local Irish incarnation of a Gaelic Celtic divine mother goddess associated with the festival of Imbolc, who also had a presence in Scotland and the Isle of Man, that's not what I do here on this podcast. If you want to journey down wintry whirlpools, go check out my YouTube explainer video on the Cailleach. This is Storytime. And now, your story. The old woman of Beara said this when senility had aged her. Ebb tide has come to me, as to the sea. Old age makes me yellow, though I may grieve thereat, it approaches its food joyfully. I am Bui, the old woman of Beara. I used to wear a smock that was ever renewed. Today it has befallen me, by reason of my mean estate, that I could not have even a cast-off smock to wear. It is riches you love, and not people. As for us, when we lived, it was people we loved. Beloved were the people whose plains we ride over. Well did we fare among them, and they boasted little thereafter. Today, indeed, you are good at claiming, and you are not lavish in granting the claim. Though it is little you bestow, greatly do you boast. Swift chariots and steeds that carried off the prize, there has been, for a time, a flood of them, a blessing on the king who has granted them. My body, full of bitterness, seeks to go to a dwelling where it is known. When the Son of God deems it time, let him come to carry off his deposit. When my arms are seen, all bony and thin, the craft they used to practice was unpleasant. They used to be about glorious kings. When my arms are seen, all bony and thin, they are not, I declare, worth raising around comely youths. The maidens are joyful when they reach May Day. Grief is more fitting for me. I am not only miserable, but an old woman. I speak no honeyed words, no wethers are killed for my wedding. My hair is scant and gray. To have a mean veil over it causes no regret. To have a white veil on my head causes me no grief. Many coverings of every hue were on my head as we drank good ale. I envy no one old, excepting only Femin. As for me, I have worn an old person's garb. Femin's crop is still yellow. The stone of the kings in Femin, Ronan's dwelling in Bregan. It is long since storms first reached their cheeks, but they are not old and withered. I know what they are doing. They row and row off the reeds of Aalma. Cold is the dwelling in which they sleep. Alack a day that I sail not over youth's sea. Many years of my beauty are departed, for my wantonness has been used up. Alack the day. Now, whatever haze there be, I must take my garment even when the sun shines. Age is upon me. I myself recognize it. Summer of youth in which we have been, I spent with its autumn. Winter of age which overwhelms everyone, its first months have come to me. I have spent my youth in the beginning. I am satisfied with my decision. Though my leap beyond the wall had been small, the cloak would not have been still new. Delightful is the cloak of green, which my king has spread over Drummond. Noble is he who fulls it. He has bestowed wool on it after rough cloth. I am cold indeed. Every acorn is doomed to decay. After feasting by bright candles, to be in the darkness of an oratory. I have had my day with kings, drinking mead and wine. Now I drink whey and water among shriveled old hags. May a little cup of whey be my ale. May whatever may vex me be God's will. Praying to thee, O living God, may I give against anger. I see on my cloak the stains of age. My reason has begun to deceive me. Gray is the hair which grows through my skin. The decay of an ancient tree is like this. My right eye has been taken from me, to be sold for a land that will be forever mine. The left eye has been taken also, to make my claim to that land more secure. There are 3 floods which approach the fort of Arderuda. A flood of warriors, a flood of steeds, a flood of the greyhounds owned by Lugad's sons. The flood wave and that of swift ebb. What the flood wave brings you, the ebb wave carries out of your hand. The flood wave and that second wave which is ebb, all have come to me, so that I know how to recognize them. The flood wave, may the silence of my cellar not come to it, though my retinue in the dark be great. A hand was laid on them all. Had the Son of Mary the knowledge that he would be beneath the housepole of my cellar, though I have practiced liberality in no other way, I have never said no to anyone. It is wholly sad, man is the basest of creatures, that ebb was not seen as the flood had been. My flood has guarded well that which was deposited with me. Jesus, Son of Mary, has saved it till ebb, so that I am not sad. It is well for an island of the great sea. Flood comes to it after its ebb. As for me, I expect no flood after ebb to come to me. Today, there is scarcely a dwelling place I could recognize. What was in flood is all ebbing. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe, and depending on the platform, leaving a review would be greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to learn more about the Old Woman of Beara, aka the Cailleach Beara, aka the Cailleach, don't forget to check out that explainer video I have on her on the Irish Myths YouTube channel. I've also got a few books you might be interested in that are available over on Amazon. Might I recommend St. Patrick in Your Pocket? 20 Questions with the Apostle of Ireland. As always, my name is I.E. Kneverday, editor of the Celtic fantasy short story anthology Neon Druid, and creator of IrishMyths.com. Thanks for coming out. Every acorn is doomed to decay. Every acorn is doomed to decay. Every acorn is doomed to decay. Oh my god, these goddamn crows! Hush! Fucking birds. I'm gonna do one from the top. Birds be damned. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Irish